Hi, I'm Sean Morrison, the senior pastor at Cedarcrest Free Methodist Church in Bloomington, Minnesota. Being a smaller church of about 50 people on a Sunday morning, we realized we're not going to compete with all the bells and whistles of every other church, but we knew we could do something special. And so Cedarcrest, with a pretty diverse age group, and so that's good. But we're in a community that's a suburban community of Minneapolis, but it's a changing community because poverty has come into the suburbs. And so feeding people has been a really big win for us because it's allowed us to really touch the hearts of those in our community. We do a number of things. We feed over 500 families a month right out of the church, and that's hot meals and groceries. We do a mobile dental clinic, and that's where an RV comes and dentists volunteer and hygienists volunteer, and they provide free dental service for those who do not have insurance. We have a foot care program called Soul Care for Souls. It's a partner with Good in the Hood and Cedarcrest Church, and what they do, it's nurses who come in and do medical treatments, foot soakings, I like to say modern day foot washing with a medical touch. They also buff the calluses, trim the nails, and then pray with people in need. We have a holiday help program. We do a number of Thanksgiving baskets. Last year in Hennepin County, we served over 3,800 Thanksgiving baskets through our partner ministry, Good in the Hood. And we serve over 1,000 hot meals, and then we do adopt-a-family programs for over 600 families in need during the Christmas season. It all started with a program that we introduced to our congregation called 911. And 911 was just simply a sense of urgency around this, using the 911 hotline. But we borrowed that and we said, we want to adopt 9 families. What would that look like if Cedarcrest could have a reasonable goal of touching 9 families with 1 week's worth of groceries per month for up to 1 year, thus 911. And that program lasted all of maybe 30 days. And then we were at 20 families. And within about 3 months, we were at 50 families, and it started to snowball in a good way. And so we had to find ways through our partner, Good in the Hood, to get more food. And so we connected up with some local food banks, and the rest is history. We're at 500 families out of Cedarcrest, but we serve over 3,000 people a month throughout the Twin Cities. We're at 2 colleges, 6 public schools, and we have 2 churches, one on the north side and one at, of course, Cedarcrest Free Methodist Church that feeds people. And that's become our mission, is how do we feed bodies and feed souls? And when that gateway is happening, then it gives us a lot of opportunity to do what we are ultimately called to do, and that's to make disciples. We're feeding all over the place, but ultimately we need to fund that. That's about $100,000 a year of groceries that we had to come up with. And so with that, we devised a program called Shoo Away Hunger. It's where we take and we ask different groups, churches, businesses, shoe stores, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, schools, everyone wears shoes. So anyone who wears shoes can donate shoes. And so we ask them to clean out their closet for Christ, clean out their closet for a cause. One being that it helps people with shoes, but it also then we can take those shoes and we have a bus that we've turned into a mobile thrift store. We go to different locations and we offer these shoes for a $5 suggested donation. And that's the better shoes. These are the ones that are worth $20 to $100 a pair. So we take good shoes. We don't want to give people junk. We want to give people what we would be willing to wear ourselves. And so we put those on the bus. We go to locations that are where there's a number of people. We call them a people magnet. And then we sell those shoes for a $5 suggested donation. All the proceeds help pay for groceries. And we're averaging right now the ability to feed somebody 1 week's worth of groceries or 7 days of essential groceries for $2.50. So every time we sell a pair of shoes, we're feeding at least one person, sometimes up to 2 people, a week's worth of groceries. We got invited to the college because we were doing some food programs that were somewhat, in their minds, innovative. We did not do what was typical, which was geographically restrict our food program. Most food shells are geographically restricted. They only serve people within a certain community. We said, let's serve whosoever will may come, kind of quoting a scripture. And that was really helpful because the college approached us and said they can't work with other food shelves because some of their students are outside their service area, so they would have had to deny some of the students food. We've had just tremendous opportunities, and we do that through food. That's the gateway, because when we did a survey, 25% of the students at one of our colleges could not afford on-campus food and were just going to class hungry. And they were on free and reduced lunches when they were in high school, but they don't get that in college. So they're just trying to pay tuition and books and make a living, and they're not ready. And so we started providing food for students, and we did it through the campus cupboard, we call it. And there's another college, we call it Food for Thought. But what we do is provide food for them. At the campus cupboard, we had 6,500 visits last year to that food shelf. So that's telling you that there's a great need. We've seen people come into the church from these outreach ministries. Our church has been actively involved in them in all facets, and some behind the scenes, some front lines. And what we're seeing is that the outreaches themselves are creating community. And when you create community, now people are starting to trickle in on Sunday morning. They weren't encultured to Sunday morning, but now they're starting to check it out, and they're starting to feel a part of it. Simple acts of kindness can change lives. We fail to realize how our greeting, the way we treat someone, can make a difference in their moment, which can ultimately lead to a difference in their life. And that's what we're trying to do with Cedarcrest Church and with Good in the Hood, is make differences, one life, one family, one community at a time.